Hello and welcome to Removers and Shakers, the podcast that shines a light on the people, the personalities of the removal sector in the UK and around the world. Today, we're very lucky to have Max Dickinson from White Van Gentlemen. Max, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks very much. I'm not sure whether you're very lucky, but yeah, let's see.
Yeah. Max, for those that don't know you, how would you describe what you do in the removal sector today?
So I own and run White Van Gentlemen. We're based in southwest London, and we operate over the whole of London and parts of the UK as well.
And White Van Gentlemen, that was started in 2004, is that, or 2006?
2006, yes. It was started by my friend Angus.
Yep.
He bought a van while he was starting up another business, and I jumped in every now and again to help him out.
Yeah.
Fast forward 20 years and we've got a fleet of vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, long gone are the days where we just operated one.
Yeah. 20 years, that's massive.
Yeah.
It's 20th anniversary next year.
It's coming up. Yeah.
Having a big party?
We might have to. Yeah. I think we'll have to.
So when you say you helped Angus out at the start, what I mean, did he just, were you like his go-to guy? Did he just ask you like, what should I do with this? What should I do? Or was it purely just helping on moves or just advice or what, I mean, how do you know Angus? Is he a long-term friend?
We're old friends.
Yeah.
We go back a long way. And he would ask me to help out on jobs.
Yeah.
I remember the first job I ever helped him out with, it was a Saturday morning. I'd had a night out with my mates the night before and woke up to a call from Angus probably about 5 minutes before the job was starting saying,
God.
"Where are you?" I think everyone does it. But fortunately, it was only about 3 streets away. So I managed to get there in the nick of time.
And before like Angus started, and he's calling you in to help, had you ever heard of removals before?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had. In fact, I tried to get a job with Cadogan Tate.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether they thought I was strong enough.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, so I got down the gym and
And what was that? Just like, again, I'm always fascinated because let's be honest, you don't sort of go to school to study removals,
No, sure.
do you? And I'm in the same boat with that. Same as recruitment, you somehow fall into it. And how did like that sort of thinking of going to Cadogan Tate to start there? Were your mates doing it? Was it just something you really like to be physical, or what?
Yeah, I'd had various mates sort of working with. I know Anthony Wall Thomas. With those guys and. It was physical, manual labour, better than sitting behind a desk.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed lifting things.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit weird, but
And it's more than just lifting. This more as much as anyone. Yeah. There's a technical side, there's
Definitely.
the wrapping, then there's a customer service side, which is like some could argue is like more than 50% of it. If you can give a good impression in a quote, when you go and do a survey, if you can be really good to the customer then. That's so much, and it's more than just a labourer on a construction site, isn't it?
Of course, yeah. When I first started out, I didn't know anything more than it was just lifting boxes up and down stairs.
Yeah.
Now I fully understand that it's a process. As you say, right down from looking out for the guys on the job, making sure that they're not walking into something that's gonna keep them busy until the early hours of the morning.
Yeah. I wish everyone thought like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We've, it's heartbreaking for us when we have guys on a job, and then some. It's even more heartbreaking when they say the next day, by the way, I finished at 1:00 a.m. last night. That's we never. In all the years, I think we've been working with you since 2018. We've never had that with White Van Gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's
good.
And we've worked with you consistently over how long now? 7-year period or whatever it is. And the guys will always be happy when they know they're on a job with White Van, because probably things like that, you're not setting them up to fail.
Yeah.
But a lot of companies, they just look at for profit more. They can look to maximise it rather than extend it over 2 days.
Well, it doesn't make any sense, really. You're going to be spending the money on overtime. Why not, put more personnel on or extend it over a couple of days, like you say.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Were you working in any particular sector before you started with White Van Gentlemen back in 2006?
Yeah, I was. Funnily enough, I was trying to get into film.
Yeah? A movie star?
No, the other side of the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. I realised it was maybe something that was not so much achievable, but I think it was a long process.
Yeah.
I wanted to start making money straight away.
Absolutely.
Anyway, found myself in removals.
Yeah. And when did the tap on the shoulder come to say, right, you've earned your stripes now, we'd like you to be a director? What did you become?
Well,
You're the director now of White Van Gentlemen.
So yes, I own and run it. And so that was late 2008. I got a call from Angus saying, I want you to come on board and run the company. And, from there, we were a sort of small outfit, and we've kind of built up to a larger fleet of vehicles.
I mean, and like White Van Gentlemen, and I can say this sort of from a subjective perspective and objectively as well, because it's got an amazing brand in Southwest London and wider around the country. And I know you do nationwide deliveries now, and you operate in all parts of London, but especially that really good hotspot of Southwest London. Like, it's impossible to walk out the street and not see one of your vans flying around. Well,
that's good to know, because often I feel that maybe we don't have that presence, but I guess that's just what anybody thinks who, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
But that's good to know that you see our vans about.
Absolutely. And also, like, I've personally worked on some of your jobs, like I do with all our clients. Like I've done probably, I don't know, a handful of shifts, and the type of customers you get, they're just really nice people, really good people. They've got these beautiful homes and extremely expensive stuff, which I've been on, and I the jobs I've been on, there've always been so many guys, so many White Van Gentlemen guys on there, and really well resourced. Jobs. What's your sort of ideal customer?
I think your ideal customer, anyone's ideal customer, is somebody who's going to pay the right price.
Yeah.
Somebody who's going to be friendly, not be standing over your shoulder, watching you pack a box.
Yeah.
Somebody who trusts that they've made the right choice in choosing you as their removals provider.
Yeah.
So that you feel the kind of confidence to do the job properly. I think that's really important. But you're right. A lot of our customers are lovely, and we try our best to look after them.
Do they come back often?
Yeah, of course. And those are the best customers.
Yeah, I bet.
Those are the people that you want. They're the people who will shout about your company the most, who come back and provide them with a good service time and time again.
How do you sort of and this is a very broad stroke question, like how do you attempt to sort of stand out? Because there's so many removal firms in London and Southwest London. That is a very hotly contested area around those Battersea and Clapham and those kind of Wandsworth areas. I mean, is it you just have to keep doing a great job every single move, or is it a certain kind of marketing, or is it networking, or is it, is there any particular thing you rely on, or is it just so many things to try and keep your head above water? I mean, I know you guys have done that for 20 years, done it more. But I mean, if I was operating a removal firm in Southwest London, like some really big names out there, how do you try and stay ahead of the pack in some ways?
I think it can be difficult. Branding, it helps. We've got a whacking great picture frame on the side of our van, stands out.
Yep.
Our name, it's a bit of a play on the White Van Man.
Yes.
And people seem to enjoy that.
Yep.
But, the branding won't do it all. So, you have to build up that reputation. And a lot of our work comes from word of mouth.
Yeah.
So it's really important that you provide your customers with great services.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they'll wax lyrical about you, and you get that repeat business.
Do you cultivate those customers? Like, do you have send them emails following up 6 months later or 12 months later, or do you just sort of just trust in the fact that you done a good job and they'll sort of organically, naturally over time come back, or do you sort of build up a database and try and go after these people for more work? I
mean, I think you've got to hope that if you've done a good job, that the next time they move, they'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So in answer to your question, no, we don't. We don't send them an email 5 months time.
Yeah.
5 months later saying, "Are you on the move again?"
Yeah.
It's a bit more of a natural kind of. They approach us again and ask us to hopefully quote for their move again.
Yeah.
And providing we're offering the right kind of price, which I think that we do. Offer a premium service at the right price, then they'll hopefully come back to you.
Any famous people that you're allowed to mention? I know you'd have had all sorts of non-disclosure agreements in the past.
Yeah.
Any ones that you could mention, or probably got to give us one name?
I can't give you a name, David.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Okay, what about
I can't spill the beans.
What about a significant person that you've moved? It doesn't have to be a famous celebrity person, but someone it could be an old school teacher or a family member that you moved last minute, like a significant move that you thought, oh, gee, that was a good move we did for that person. It was a meaningful. I mean, I'm sure you do it every single day.
I think the moves that we feel most proud about and again, it's sort of similar answer to the last one, that it's the repeat customers.
Okay.
So the customers who come back to you and you do another move for them and provide them with another good service, and they write in to say, thank you so much, yet again, a great service from White Van Gentlemen. They write a review or whatever it might be. Those are the moves that you feel the most proud about, because you know that, again, that they're going to talk to their friends and recommend your services to them.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm sorry I can't give you any.
What's one of the most random things you've ever moved, an object, craziest things? Did I see on social media that you moved, and I may have got this wrong, you moved like a World War II bomb or something?
Yes, yeah, we did. Yeah,
so that's
yeah, no, that's true. Yeah,
yeah. What
moved
was
a World War II bomb.
What happened there?
It wasn't live. Yeah, one of our guys, I think, kind of walked into the house and was confronted by this suspicious-looking object, and sort of said to the customer, "Is this really going? Is this?" They were like, "Don't worry, it's okay. It's not live."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what was?
It's probably up there, to be honest.
How did he come across that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I guess ways and means.
What's the furthest place you've moved someone before?
The furthest we've moved someone. I mean, we do overseas moves. So, kind of Hong Kong, I guess, is, Australia. Yeah. You know how far that is.
Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah, that's probably no kind of outer Mongolia or anything like that.
No. Do you have a favourite destination when you think, I love when people ask to go to Singapore or America or somewhere like that?
So I think that our crews like going up to Scotland.
Yeah?
Yeah. They love this kind of long drive up there. I mean, summer's the best time of year to go up there, but they love the long drive, and look, the UK when it's nice weather, there's no better place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We work in Scotland. We've got crews up in Scotland now.
Do you?
We have companies in London. They go up, they bring a driver or a porter up, and then they just say, can we have an extra couple of guys to meet? And it's they're 10 minutes away from the address as opposed to 10. How long is a drive to Scotland now? 10 hours?
It's about 10 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. It's a nice place up there. We work up there a fair bit now.
Whereabouts? In mainly Edinburgh.
Edinburgh and Glasgow. But a lot of people our workers have cars. I don't know why, but they just seem to. So if we were to go to Falkirk or whatever, they can just nip across to Falkirk. Even Edinburgh to Glasgow, they just say, I'll just jump on the train.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe, when we have a job going up there, we don't need to send our whole crew.
Not even just if it's running behind or whatever. Do you have a guy who can work for half a day? That can be good. I've worked with you for about 7 years or whatever. You always seem quite stoic and calm in crises. How do you handle your emotions so well? Because I need that advice. How do I not yell at people or lose my cool?
I think it's learning the hard way.
Yeah.
Look, moving is a stressful time for anybody. I think that it's up there with one of the most stressful things you'll ever do. Mm-hmm. So when a client kind of is acting a certain way, or one of your crew is acting a certain way, you've just got to accept that is what's going on in the moment. And rather than feed off their energy, be the bigger person. Yeah. And, suck it up.
Yeah.
And, kill it with kindness. That's what I always say.
That's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah. Kill it with kindness and hard work.
Yeah.
And get your head down. And before long, everyone will be all right.
That's really, I think that, as I said, of many years we've been working, I think I can see how you personify that, it's exactly, and I think that's a really good representation of your brand as a whole, maybe.
Thank you.
Because that's, you're a leader in this space, a big, a respected leader. But I think more leaders, could be, and myself included, could be in those moments. It's just like hold your tongue. If someone's yelling at you, how do you? It's sometimes hard not to yell back.
It is hard.
I was saying to someone else on this podcast, sometimes the best way is just to, what I do is just apologize, say sorry, and then suddenly that just immediately stops them in their tracks.
Yeah.
Because if you've apologized, I think it's usually they're yelling at you when you haven't apologized. They're trying to yell, trying to get that out of you. But when you just acknowledge it, it's crazy, and I just need to somehow bottle that.
So what do you do?
Well, we just own out. We just have to accept, or this person's really upset because we've made a mistake. So first and foremost, before the conversation carries on, just say, I'm sorry about that. How have I messed you around? And then they'll say that, and then they'll just like calm down. But it's when you say, but you said this, and you should have done this. And,
sure.
There's so many moving parts to a removal job. literally people, parking, brake damage, everything.
Yeah.
People running late, not being able to get keys, overtime. You could list probably 100 more things that could go wrong.
I mean, for everything to go right, it's difficult.
It's really hard.
Yeah,
really hard.
You've got to, like you say, there's so many factors to take into account.
Do you think you're a problem solver at heart? Do you think, that's before you enter this sector, were you a problem solver? I know you've been in it for 20 odd years now, or near enough, but do you like problem solving? I think you have to.
I do like problem solving. I think I enjoy it less now that I've solved quite a few problems, and hopefully some of my other members of the team kind of solve them for me.
Mm-hmm. You've got a good team.
We've got a great team. Yeah, we do.
Matt's been with you a while now.
Matt's been with us for a while.
Millie's been with you for a few years.
No, Millie's no longer with us.
Oh, isn't she?
No, Ruby's there now.
Ruby's there now. She was with you for a while.
Yeah, she was. And before that, with people like Ben, Alex.
Yes.
Those guys.
Yep, I remember.
I know that you've dealt with them all.
You've always had good ops people.
Yeah. We have.
What's the key skill of an ops person? If you could pick one thing that they have to be really good at, and not too general, like a genuine, like for example, for me, I think I'll give you a few, like attention to detail.
Sure.
And conscientious, being genuinely caring.
Yes.
Not like, it's 5 o'clock, see you later.
No, sure.
If they and I think Matt is so conscientious.
He is.
God,
he cares about the business.
He really cares.
And
he's a defender of the business.
Of course.
He's a savage defender.
He is, yeah. You've been on the other end of that,
I have,
haven't you?
many times. But I respected him for it, because I found it kind of like really endearing. Like, he's really going into bat for you and for the company in different, when you think about minor arguments, but still, I think every company and any manager would like to have that person on their team who really goes in for it. But what would you say is one of the key skills of an ops manager in removals?
I think, these guys are dealing with a number of workers every day with a bunch of emotions. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, sort of listening, keeping a calm head, making sure that these guys are okay, because a lot of the time that they're out on these jobs and you don't get to see them kind of firsthand, it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Because you've got a client who's demanding, potentially, because the job's not gone the way it, was planned. And rather than kind of ignoring it, I think it's important that they check in on the guys and make sure that they're okay. And I think that's a really good quality that Matt has as well.
Being proactive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt's good.
Yeah.
I like Matt. Yeah, he's a nice guy. The good thing about interviewing someone like yourself in this sector is that, you've been around 20 years, so you've seen a lot of economic changes. So I think in the time you've been with with White Van Gemini, you've had the 2008 global financial crisis and the housing slump, 2011, 2012 Eurozone debt crisis, and at that time there's a UK double debt recession, 2016 Brexit, 2020 pandemic, and then 2022, 2023 cost of living, with October 2022, inflation at 11%, the highest in 40 years. Out of all those things I mentioned, which one do you think hit the removal sector the hardest, or White Van Gentleman the hardest, or yourself personally the hardest?
I think the earlier years was okay. We were building, we weren't as established. I think we'd built up quite a good client base prior to the 2008 recession, and that kind of kept us going through that. I think that there are different problems kind of the further you go on in business. And so I'd say that probably 2020, COVID was a tough time. Mm-hmm. It was great for the removals sector, don't get me wrong, but I think it was just challenging for everybody kind of navigating it. Were people working from home? Did you travel in pairs? Did you how close could you get to each other? I think just navigating it was just problems that you didn't need. But then that said, the market was great. Lots of people moving outside of London, and we picked up a lot of work. Mm-hmm. We started a kind of a deliveries arm to the business at that stage as well. So that was a huge learning curve. So a lot going on at that period in time. So I think in terms of being the most challenging, that was it.
Yeah, it was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just the uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly.
If I remember rightly, you had long COVID, didn't you, yourself?
I did, yeah.
How long was long COVID for you?
It wasn't as long as some people.
Yeah.
But it was 10 months.
10 months?
Yeah, 10 months, yeah.
I think you told me, and shame on me for not checking in all the time with our clients, it was about towards the tail end of that, and I thought, you've had this for 10 months. Bloody hell, that's massive.
Yeah, I mean,
That is
when there's a
absolutely
lot
massive.
going on, you get through it.
How did you survive that?
My wife was great. About month 9, she was like, "We've got to do something about this." So she told me that I needed to do some kind of crazy anti-inflammatory diet and a sort of course where I took God knows how many pills every day, and cleared it right up.
Yeah,
And I bounced right back.
it's incredible.
Yeah. So
what kind of? Can you elaborate a little bit on that diet?
So
roughly?
It was like a keto diet.
Okay.
And intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And I was eating coconut oil.
Yeah.
It was crazy, disgusting.
That's incredible.
MCT oil, some turmeric, that kind of thing. That's basically all I ate.
And what, you start eating at like midday or something?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you eat between sort of 6 hours, and
you still do that now?
No. Yeah, it's quite hard to keep up. It was only a month long, but
you think that's the thing that
I think so. I mean, it was pretty good timing if it wasn't that. But
yeah.
Well,
what do those 10 months look like?
Well, I mean, I was sort of in the thick of it, but a lot of brain
bedridden.
It just felt like I had a bus parked on my chest for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get through these things.
How do you run a business when you got that?
Yeah, it's quite tough, especially the brain fog. You mince your words, your figures aren't the best.
Yeah, I bet.
but yeah, kind of you get through it. Head down.
Yeah.
And be stoic about it, like you say.
Geez, that's massive.
Did you suffer with anything like that?
No, I had it. I had it on my birthday, funnily enough. And because I remember drinking a cocktail and I thought, I can't bloody taste this. But then no, I just have passed through me. I was lucky, but I've heard some people had it for years.
Yeah.
And that's just the thing, mentally, when's this going to end? It can last 9 months. Why can't it last 19 months or 29 months? That'd have been hard.
No, I had friends who, I think one of them still suffers from long-COVID. He got it, about the same time as I did.
That's ridiculous, yeah. So what type of customers are you seeing today? Are they changing the way they want to move? Are they changing the kind of stuff they have? That kind of thing. We had a guy on, and he was saying that, the moves these days, people seem to have a lot more disposable stuff that they can just throw out. And, or are you not seeing much of a change, in the types of moves? Are they still the same as they were 20 years ago?
No, not at all. I mean, I think the key change for me is that 20 years ago, or, 15 years ago, there was more concern about booking a removal in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now we're finding that people are contacting us and wanting to move within a couple of weeks. So you would always know what you had going on months in advance previously. Whereas now it's a bit more concerning because you look at your schedule and you think, well, we don't have much going on next month. And when in actual fact,
it fills up. It eventually fills up.
It does.
Why do you think that is?
I think the on-demand kind of, you look at your Ubers, your deliveries, the on-demand kind of environment, people naturally want to do everything on demand.
Yeah.
And I think that stretches to removals too.
How can smaller removal companies compete and win big jobs over established firms such as yourself? If someone starts up in Southwest London and they get a Luton van or two, is it an impossible task to compete with people like yourself? Or what advice would you give them?
I think that naturally they will be able to compete on the smaller removals, the kind of man and van type stuff where customers are happy to jump in and help out themselves and are just looking for that kind of, that man and van kind of service.
These are moves you don't touch?
No, we do.
Yeah.
But yes, it's sometimes quite hard to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it comes with a whole heap of other problems opting for a smaller company because anyone can just go out and buy a van and, say that they're a removals business. But if I was giving advice to a smaller firm who wanted to land larger jobs, I'd probably say that it comes with time. And I think that it's difficult to just launch into doing a monster removal. I think that build yourself up to it slowly, take on bigger jobs bit by bit. And before you know it, you'll be doing 10-bedroom houses.
What's one thing working in removals for, pushing 20 years, 15, 20 years has taught you about people or about life or both?
I think that they want the best service possible at the cheapest price. Obviously, the two don't go hand in hand so much. I think that that's one of the things. I also think that going back to what we said earlier is that moving is stressful. And although kind of you get sometimes what might appear to be a nightmare client, they don't mean it. And it's just because there's a lot going on and it's a stressful time. So, I've learned to kind of take everything with a bit of a pinch of salt.
The thing I've admired about you since day one, I mean, well, lots of things, especially how encouraging you were to us as a startup back in 2017, 2018. Like, you really gave us a shot and still do these days. But you, in my personal opinion, you're quite advanced when it comes to technology and always sort of innovating here or there or automating certain things. Are you able to shed any light on stuff that you've kind of automated or used technology other than the complete, off the shelf kind of like Move CRM kind of things?
Yeah.
Has there been any other software that's sort of not made specifically for removals that you've been able to embed into your operation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're constantly looking to develop and build on our software. It's something that you got to move with the times, and I think, like you say, being able to streamline your operation, being able to offer your client base something else, making improvements, I guess.
Yep.
I think that it's really important to keep innovating and trying new things. With AI now, there's going to be a whole heap of new things. So in terms of kind of giving you an idea of what we're doing now, we're looking into chatbots.
Okay.
How they might be able to help us. Can you get them doing sales? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. How might that work for us? So that's that kind of thing.
Especially if a lot of the inquiries you get are via email.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean when you say chat with doing sales?
For sure.
Because that's certainly, you can't detect a tone of voice or anything like that.
Yeah.
But if they're getting asked the same kind of questions, how much is this, how much is that, if it can kind of summarize and at least get it to a stage where someone can pick up the phone, but a lot of that heavy lifting is already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And I think that, being able to, like you say, with that heavy lifting done, you can then jump on the call yourself or get one of the other members of your team to jump on it and hopefully convert that sale.
I think there's a company out there now that's doing surveys, AI surveys.
Yeah.
You heard much about them?
Yeah.
That looks really cool, I reckon.
But I talked to them back in 2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's great. It was expensive back then, probably cheaper now. But it worked out to be the same cost as you would employ a surveyor.
Yeah.
So
it must be cheaper now.
I'd much rather have the personal kind
of course.
touch. But it must be, you're right, cheaper.
No, that's interesting.
It'd be interesting to find out what it looks like now.
Especially if they're jobs that even if you had the surveyor and you still, I know you got surveyors, but if these are jobs that you just wouldn't be able to get your current existing surveyors out onto, they'd just be like bonus jobs. If that survey can be done, sent back to you, this is the quote, send the quote back to the customer, they accept it, bang, that's a job.
Yeah,
that just created out of nothing.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I think that's if companies can adopt something like that. Again, keep your existing surveyors, but if AI can just give you these extra bits, I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, people are pretty
money's money. Let's be honest.
For sure, yeah. People are pretty flexible. So if your surveyor was back to back, then I could understand that. But people are pretty flexible in terms of when they can make a survey. But yeah, for sure, if you could offer it as an additional, that would be great.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to find out what the tech's actually like. Does it work? Does it, how accurate is it?
How do you foresee the future of removals over the next 5 years? If you had a crystal ball, is it all going to be bloody run by AI?
I don't think that removals is going to be too affected by AI. I think that it's pretty safe for now anyway. I don't think we're going to have humanoid robots traveling in our vans.
Maybe driving the vans.
Yeah, maybe driving the vans.
Would you like that? If you could buy a Luton van with all your branding, but it was didn't require a driver, would you like that?
I mean, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you could guarantee that there were no knocks or dings to the van.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love that. I think you need the personal touch. So, you hear about AI replacing jobs and which sectors are going to be the most safe. They talk about plumbers, electricians, cleaners. Yeah, exactly. But I think removals as well.
Oh, it's so safe. Yeah. So especially, it's safe as houses. I just think AI can allow you potentially more time, more money to provide that personal touch.
For sure.
That's certainly this is exactly what's brought this on with us. Yeah. We've been, as I know, we've automated so much of our business, and how do I get more personal? How do I actually, pin people down? I know you're an extremely busy guy, so much stuff on professionally and personally, but stuff like this now that we're not always having to, because you can book workers directly now, they accept and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it allows us more time to kind of
That's a great service you guys provide.
Yeah. Thank you. What's one competitor you've always admired? That could be a company as a whole or an individual in a company, or are you just so competitive that you can't say? You just don't want to give anything away.
No, I'm very happy. I've talked to various competitors. I've been friendly with a lot of them. Anthony Ward Thomas, they're great.
You met Anthony?
Yeah, met him.
Yeah,
a couple of times. I've met a gentleman in a van.
Yeah,
those guys.
Mark.
Mark.
He's a good guy. He was on a podcast recently with us. Really nice guy.
And then Easy Shipping.
Yeah,
they're lovely guys.
they're in
Don't know if you talked to them.
Yeah, they're in
Croydon.
Yeah. They got these massive HGVs, don't they? They always seem to have these brand new spanking HGVs.
Yeah, it's quite a setup.
Yeah. They always win Packer of the Year at the Movers and Storage Show.
Yes,
like every single year.
I met them the other day and they were very proud to show me all of their trophies.
Yeah. They come up, because we go to it every year. We exhibit there, and they're watching at the start to see how the other people do it.
Really?
They're pointing. So
they said they were going to give it a miss this year.
Are they?
Yeah, give everyone else a chance.
Oh, so, right. They're not doing the packing.
Well, I don't know. Give it the whatever award it was that they won.
Packer of the Year.
Packer of the Year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, good on them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe I'll enter.
Yeah. So has there been any jobs that you've either messed up on, for want of a better term, or just really, really made a mistake on, or things that you think, geez, I could have done that so much better, or just has it just been chaotic and every single thing that could have gone wrong went wrong?
So I think there was not so much kind of one large job, though actually there was one job about 12 years ago. We had a new surveyor, David. I don't know if you remember David.
Yeah.
It was his first quote, and he went out to survey this job. Massive house in Holland Park. It kind of had sort of man caves and rooms off other rooms. I don't think he ever saw half of the house. Anyway, we managed to massively underquote the job and not provide enough resources, which, falls back on us. But David got the nickname Letterbox Dave after that, because all the guys joked that he just peered through the letterbox when he quoted the job. There's been a couple of damages.
Yeah.
That you kind of...
What's the most expensive thing you've damaged? You can be honest. Everyone damages stuff.
No,
with the big
damaged,
firms, What's the most thing? What's the most expensive thing you've damaged?
The most expensive thing. I'm not sure about the most expensive thing. We had a sculpture that we damaged, which was going into storage. One of the guys tripped on the back of the truck, and it was made of porcelain and kind of had metal coming off it. Things like that. Unfortunately, we're putting it into storage, so it gave us a bit of time to figure out what we were going to do. So found out who the artist was.
Oh, really?
He was based in France and had retired. So I reached out to him in my best GCSE French and asked him if he'd come out of retirement to build us another one. Fortunately, he had all the molds and everything still. So he managed to make it happen.
That's was the customer aware these conversations were going on?
Customer wasn't aware.
Oh my, that's incredible.
So we just got it done. Yeah, he made a new one, and then we kind of shipped it back over here. We attached all of the kind of metal bits and leather bits that were kind of...
So you're saying the customer didn't even know that it got damaged? You just replaced it?
We just replaced it.
Really?
Yeah. And it went back into storage and then got delivered out, and
that's
she had
amazing.
No idea.
That is amazing. That is so resourceful. Yeah. It cost a pretty penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, we had a happy customer at the end.
That's incredible. I don't think I've ever heard of someone going to that length. I'm sure people do it all the time. This is what I'm saying. This is why I think it's such a fascinating sector. I hear these stories, these kind of stories all the time over my conversations over the last with people and that is just another one of them. That is an extreme one. Yeah. But people will go so far to make sure that they right their wrongs in this sector, because I think you're moving people's most prized possessions.
Definitely. It's your reputation on the line. You've got to make sure that, at the end of the day, that word of mouth is, because if it's bad word of mouth, it's really damaging.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
If you could wind the clock back to 2008, when you sort of took over the helm and all the ups and downs and all the challenge on the way, and you had yourself sitting there in 2008, what advice would you give yourself, knowing the nearly 20-year journey you personally had? What advice would you give yourself on day one when you took over as director?
Learning to not take it so personally is a major thing. Had sleepless nights, torn my hair out over various things, whether it's a client or an employee, whatever it might be. Try not to take it too personally. But you do naturally, because it's your business and you want it to succeed. But I think at the end of the day, kind of life is too short to kind of have those sleepless nights and worry so much, because at the end of the day, it is business, and it's important to just try and kind of, stay healthy, keep a cool head, and, keep driving forward without feeling stressed.
That's a really good answer. How do you, outside of work, de-stress? Because stress builds in any business, any profession, and everyone has it. Everyone has their little ways. What's one thing you do?
Well, I have a 2-hour drive back home.
Okay.
Not every day.
Where's home again?
It's between Salisbury and Winchester.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a great time just to kind of sit there. I'll often just sit there with no music on, no podcasts or anything. Just sit there in silence.
You listen to this podcast?
Of course. Yeah. Number one.
No, yeah. So just, I guess you could argue that's a bit of mindfulness, just when you don't have any noise and you're just thinking.
Yeah. And then back at home, when there aren't, children running around and family life that kind of pulls you from here to there.
Yeah.
I'm on my lawnmower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great.
Right on.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah.
That's cool.
And that helps me de-stress.
Yeah.
I probably should get fit again, but, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
You?
Yeah, good question. I need to do more with stressing. I lie awake at 3 a.m. thinking about this, thinking about that, going, and it's a constant problem I have with letting stress bottle up.
Yeah.
I wish I could have the answers. I don't do enough. I try run every Saturday.
Do you? Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't do enough. I don't drink anymore, which is nice.
Yeah.
I don't drink booze. I stopped that a few years ago.
Did you? Did you find that hard?
No, in a really weird way, no. And it's actually every sort of, like my birthday comes around or New Year's Eve and Christmas, and I actually don't want one. And then that passes. It's like I didn't even drink my birthday for another year or Christmas Eve. And it's just, I can't, life has so many other problems, like being under the influence or just a little bit dusty the next morning. It's just so nice not to have that clear head, and I don't miss it. I can't fathom drinking again. Apart from that, that's something that just naturally has just eliminated stress without me realizing it.
What do you drink when you're out?
Nothing really, like nothing. I just
like a non-alcoholic beer or anything.
No, I don't. That? It's because it's just sort of I don't touch that either. It's just nothing.
Yeah.
I try and stay away from soft drink as well as much as I can, because it just sends you loopy, I reckon, soft drink. Yeah. So, but cutting out the booze over I stopped for 2 years flat in the pandemic. As soon as we had the first lockdown, I thought I'm either going to drink myself to death in the lockdown, or I'm going to use this opportunity to kind of let's get ahead of the game. So I got all the alcohol in the house and just tipped it down the sink. Went 2 years exactly, and then I broke it, and then had a small period of drink where I thought, this is ridiculous, and I just haven't drunk for 3 years or whatever it's been now. So it's been nice.
Do you feel healthy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I feel that clearness of mind. Like, I mean, another thing I gave up recently was coffee. I cap it at 1 a day because I was getting these really random migraines, and they started like these migraines would put me out till 3 p.m., like almost to the minute. And then suddenly I'd come. So I went to the doctors about it. I rarely go to the doctors, but and the first thing he said, how much coffee do you drink? And I was drinking 5-6 coffees a day. And he said, if you just cut that out, they'll stop. And they did. And that's absolutely brilliant. So I don't drink coffee, soft drink, or booze. And for me, I think that just, it takes away a lot of stress.
Yeah. Is that any caffeine?
No, I mean, sorry, I cap it at 1 a day.
Yeah.
So I have an instant coffee at 1 a day.
Yeah.
No other caffeine.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of caffeine in Coke Zero and stuff like that, which is so addictive. But I don't want to preach, but I'd shout that to the world, like just cut out coffee.
I don't drink caffeine.
No?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
Because I get migraines as well.
Do you?
Yeah, I cut it out about 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's a really, and it's a great thing, don't get me wrong, but caffeine at 1 a day, I haven't had a migraine since, and I was getting really worried.
You don't have those peaks and you kind of feel on the ball the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get jittery or anxious, because the job is anxious enough.
Sure. Yeah.
Dealing with 3 no-shows, not that would ever happen to us.
Of course not. No, never.
3 no-shows at 7 a.m, and I've already had 2-3 coffees. This is like, I'm a ball of stress. I thought, this is not a way to live.
Yeah.
So what do you love about removals?
I think the people that I work with, the people that we do moves for. You meet people from all different walks of life, and some are lovely, some aren't as lovely. But then you're kind of, the people that we work with, I think, are probably the best thing. They're good fun. And I think generally they don't take life too seriously, which is refreshing, because a lot of people take life too seriously. And sure, there's a time and a place, but I think it's really important to kind of understand that, work can be fun too. And I think that if everybody kind of has that attitude, then the company will do well.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, I'm a big supporter of White Van Gentlemen, and I think it's a great brand, great culture, great people, and I hope you and it does well over the next 20 years.
Thanks, David.
Hope you have a great 20-year anniversary party next year, whatever that's going to be. And
maybe you can come along.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But as always, it's great to chat to you, Max. You're a great guy to chat to. And
likewise.
So yeah, thanks very much for being part of it.
Thanks, David.